Good morning. I've just realised I forgot to turn the light on. There we go. Now, thank you so much. Bora Darbrent. Thank you so much for swapping Zoom for YouTube. It's going to be for a couple of sessions, definitely, and we're going to see if it works okay in this format. I'm hoping it does, because we've got a lot of people online in this house and Zoom just isn't going to work. So today is all about functional strength. So we're going to do a little bit of a warm-up, and we'll obviously do a cool down and stretches at the end. It's less about the aerobic activity, and it's more about building your core strength. So the muscles that really support the pelvis, the spine and the shoulders, but also the big muscles strength. So the muscles that are responsible for movement and action. So importantly, if you're feeling ill or if you have an injury, please don't do it. If you've got an injury or there is pain, just go easy on certain things. There may be some things that really are going to aggravate. Leave them out and maybe do something that you think would be appropriate until the next exercise. We've got plenty of options. So I'm trying to get a full body workout. So this is marvelous. I'm used to being able to see you in this class. So not to worry. I can sort of picture you in my head. So we'll crack on. So what you're going to need is, I'm hoping you've got your resistance bands. Now, if you haven't got one of these stretchy band things, don't panic. We're going to use them for a couple of the exercises, but we can also use the tins or your lightweights or nothing at all if you prefer. I've got a dining chair that I'm going to use for a little bit of leg strength, but again, you don't have to. Most of the leg strength you can do in that sort of squat position. You can even use the wall for support if you need it. You do need something sort of like a wall or something like that to press upon, and also for support at a certain point. And I'm hoping you've got some water. Right, if you haven't, again, you can go and get it now. I'm going to start the warm-up any minute. Make sure you've got a nice clear space around you. And what we'll do is we're just going to start just with those shoulders nice and relaxed. We're going to find a really comfortable place, and we're going to think about how we stand. So when we're doing these exercises, we want to try and maintain a really nice long spine. We want to try and make sure we're looking straight ahead, so we've got a long back of the neck. And we're just going to let those shoulders relax. And when we do that, what we generally find is that things aren't as tense in this sort of area. So we should be able to stand comfortably, feet hip width apart. Now, what we're going to do, just to start off with, is start with that little shoulder squeeze up. We're going to slide the shoulders down away from the ears. So what I want you to think of is, rather than sort of leaning forwards with it, try and keep that chest lifted, nice and open as we squeeze the shoulders up and relax them down. And if you think about the base of the ribs and the top of the pelvis, what I want you to try and do is just maintain that space between them. Okay, so we're going to lift the chest and then maintain that space. Good. And you'll notice that the core muscles, these muscles around here, suddenly are working a little bit harder. Now we're going to relax those shoulders down. Just take a little roll up and back, and then we're going to just gently move those feet. So the warm up, although it's a sort of for a strength workout, we are going to get the heart rate moving a little bit faster. We're going to find maybe that breathing comes a little bit faster, but it's just at a nice low level. So on a scale of 1 to 10 of effort, at the warm-up, we need to be about 3 or 4. You know, it should feel pretty easy. It's just about starting to get moving. Now, we're going to take those feet just a little bit wider. We're going to just keep that nice long body. We're going to come back to hip width apart, and then we're going to find maybe a slightly wider position where you feel nice and comfortable. So again, we're going to see if we can just gently squeeze that bottom under, lift that chest, and we're going to warm up that lower back. So don't be tempted to really push hard. What we're going to do is just see if we can gently ease side to side. So we're just lifting that rib cage out of the hips, lengthening through the spine. Good. That's great. So we're just breathing out, breathing in, trying not to hold the breath with these moves. And then we're going to come all the way up and we're just going to take some little toe taps. So we're going to just take that big toe down towards the floor, just push that big toe down. Good. So we're going to nice long spine, nice relaxed shoulders. We're going to push that big toe down towards the floor. And then we're going to take that heel. So we're just placing that heel down, trying to keep that nice long body. So while we're doing that, we're going to think about that nice long spine, that space between the base of the ribs and the top of the pelvis. And what we're going to try and imagine is that you almost had a corset. Okay, so this corset is around that mid area, sort of just between the ribs and the pelvis. And we're just going to tighten it a little bit. So it's just going to give you a little bit more support. And then we're going to bring it in. Let's see if we can just take those little taps out to the side. What we're going to try and do is just make a fist. I'm going to come a little bit closer and show you. And then we're going to take a bicep curl. We're going to open out those fingers. So while we're doing those little taps to the side, we're going to make a fist, nice relaxed shoulders, really open out those fingers. We're going to do that again. Brilliant. We're going to open out those fingers. And then one more time. You can walk on the spot if it's too coordinated. We're going to really open out those fingers. And then we're going to shake those arms out, bring those legs in. Now, this time we're going to squeeze behind us. So if we're struggling with the lower back, we are going to make these movements very much smaller. Okay, because if we take that leg too far behind us, what we might find is that we overarch the back and that puts pressure on those joints in the lower back. So we're going to try and keep that nice long body and just squeeze this bottom, just gently tapping behind you. So we're going to just be really careful of throwing that lower back out if you do struggle with lower back pain. Now, let's bring it in. Let's take that little jogger's pedal, that jogger's walk, or pedal as I like to call it, one heel at a time. And we're going to roll those shoulders up to the ears and back down. So we're really warming up those shoulders, ankles, calf muscles. Lovely. Good. Everyone okay? Brilliant. Okay, let's bring those heels down. We're going to start to lift those knees a little bit higher. So while we're doing this, you're going to have to really tighten that corset a little bit because our natural instinct is to do that or that, but we're going to keep that nice strong core. Brilliant, nice long trunk. And then we're going to bring those knees down. We're going to just take those feet a little bit wider. We're going to take a little knee bend, roll those shoulders up and down. Now we're going to take that little knee bend, and this time we're going to draw some circles with the elbows. So we're using the legs a little bit. It's more about the shoulders, but I just want to keep that blood circulating through the legs as well. So we're going to take a couple more of these, just opening out the shoulders, and then we're just going to relax those arms, relax those legs. So let's just think about these rotational muscles. So again, if you get back issues, I want this to be very gentle indeed. We're going to just relax those arms underneath the chest. If you prefer, you can sort of take a little chest, almost like a little prayer position, if that makes sense. But what we're going to do is imagine those headlights on our hip bones shining on the wall in front of you. We've got that natural curve, but we're not arching the back, okay? So tuck that bottom under a little bit. We're going to take that little twist and back. Now you can see I'm not going very far at all. It's very much about working within your range. And if you've had any issues here, it's probably better to go 50% of what you think you can do rather than as much as you think you can do. So it's all about finding that level that you can work at and then gradually exploring where you think you might be able to go over the weeks. So we're going to come back, let those arms go, and then we're just going to take those little taps. So we're letting these arms just relax here. So I know some of you sort of struggle with a little bit of pain in the lower arm. So we're just going to let those shoulders relax, let those arms swing. And that swinging movement can be really nice just to encourage the shoulders to relax. Now, what we're going to do next is just walk it out again. And we're going to see if we can take a chest press. So we're going to push away, bring it down. And notice when you're doing your press ups against the wall, we tend to do that. So shoulders up here. So we're going to slide them down. It's like an arrow shape with the arms, and we're going to push away. Now this time when you come in, you're going to make that fist like we did earlier, and we're going to stretch out through those fingers, okay? So we're going to bring it in. We're going to make a fist. Good. We're going to bring it in. We're going to make a fist, stretch it out. Oh, who knows? 10 o'clock could be 6 o'clock in the morning, the way my brain's going. Good. And then it's like the movements don't correlate with the language. Now, one more fist. We're going to steady those feet. Now, what we're going to try and do is just reach up with these arms. So again, shoulder wide, you may be feeling a little bit stiff. So we're just going to take a little knee bend. Now, these knee bends, quite interesting. We're going to make them almost into mini squats, except we've got that bottom tucked under, heels firmly on the floor, and we're using those legs to push up as well as reaching with the arms. We're going to do 2 and 1. We're going to reach up, draw that tummy button in, and then bring those arms behind you. We're going to just see if we can hold on to those fingertips behind you. Open out those shoulders, so draw those shoulder blades together, and we're going to relax, shake it out. Now, what I'd like us to do now is just to see if we can take a little heel lift behind us. So we're going to take this little heel lift behind us. We're going to just take a little row at the same time. So we're just going to start squeezing those shoulder blades together. We're going to see if we can go for 4, 3, 2 and 1. Then we're going to bring it down, just move the feet, and we're going to see if we can just give ourselves a little tap on the back with this arm, keeping that chest lifted, looking straight ahead. Beautiful. So we're just going to reach over that shoulder, give yourself a little pat on the back. Excellent. Now let's take those feet hip width apart. Let's take that foot behind us, press the heel of this back foot to the floor. So I'll show you from this angle. It's our calf stretch just for a few seconds. Bring it in, and then we'll do the same on the other side. So that heel is at 6, that big toe is at 12 o'clock if you were working on a clock face. Now bring it up. We're going to go back to those knee lifts. And if you feel comfortable without the little bit of rotation, if you're not sure because of that back, just stay with the knee lifts. Keep them nice and easy, okay? Don't try and reach out of your range. Now we're going to go 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now let's go back to that little pedal. Good. Back to that little shoulder squeeze. We're going to walk the feet out, and we're going to draw that tummy button in, tuck that bottom under. Now, if you can, we're going to just reach up with one hand, and we're just turning that palm inwards. We're just gently lifting the rib cage. Now, we're not trying to overreach, okay? We're going to walk it out. So let's do the same on the other side. So we're reaching up, breathing out, breathing in, bringing it down, shaking it out. Good stuff. Okay, let's just do some little stretches for the back of these thighs, and then we're almost ready to go. So we're just taking that foot in front of you, hinging at the hip, not pushing into any pain, just taking it to your position of length and then bringing it all the way back up. Lovely. Okay, let's bring it back up. And we're just going to take some little side steps. We're going to take some little side steps. I'm going to take the arms out to the side. Good. So the shoulders are nice and relaxed. We're not taking the elbows higher than the shoulders. And then we're going to bring it back in. Okay, good stuff. So let's just shake it out. I'm going to get you just to take this arm to the opposite shoulder. Have a little stretch there. We're going to release. Good. We're going to take this arm to the opposite side, and then we're going to release. Okay. I think we're pretty much ready to go. So, functional strength, I have got here my little list, okay? So, I hope you can't read it properly. The magic will be taken away. So, we're starting off with a bit of leg strength. I'm trying to intersperse leg, then upper body, or core and leg, then upper body. So we're going to start with a little bit of leg strength to start off with. So we're going to do 10 to 15 repetitions on each. Now, 10 to 15 is the guide. I'm going to be doing about 10. Last week, I think we did it on time, but I'm going to work off reps today because I want to keep it nice and controlled. If you think you can do a couple more repetitions, great, go for it. If you can't quite manage 10, just do as many as you feel comfortable. We'll build up to it as the weeks go on, okay? So it's all about your body, not what you can see me doing. So we're going to start either with some little hovers, squat position. Remember, those heels are glued to the floor, and we're literally doing some mini squats. So we're dropping the heel behind the tailbone behind your heels. If you're going to use your dining chair, we're going to sit in that front part of the chair, heels underneath the knees, and we're taking these little hovers. Okay, so just a little hover off the chair. I'm going to give us some music, she says. I'm hoping that's there. Good. So leg strength. We're looking for anywhere between 10 and 15, but remember you can do less if you need to. I'm going to use the chair because there's a reason. Okay, so knees hip width apart. So this is control, my friends. Good. We're pushing into the heels. Great stuff. Good. Now, if you're squatting, not using the chair, we're actually doing it slightly differently. We're coming from the top down. Here, we're coming from the bottom of the move up. Just make sure you're not too far away from the chair. Brilliant. So I think we've got about 4 more here. If I'm sticking to my 10. Good. If you've done 10 and you're thinking she can't count, just walk it out. Lovely. So that's our exercise 1. Now we're going to go straight into the other big muscles. So I'm trying to start with the bigger functional muscles. Press up against the wall. So remember, the further your feet are away from the wall, the more hard it's going to be. Now, we're going to see if we can aim for 10. Nice and controlled. We're lowering for 2, pushing away from the wall for 2. Good. Breathing out, breathing in. So, this is where I'd come and have a little look normally, but I can't always see you. So what we want to try and do is imagine a little orange between the chin and the chest. So you've got that length in the neck. We're not doing that, pushing the chin forwards. So as the nose comes over the fingers, you're just pushing away again. So keep that long line. Brilliant. Okay, that should be about 10. Take it away from the wall. We'll just roll those shoulders a little bit. We're going to walk it out. Now we've got next that calf strength. So you might need to hold on to something. Remember that little corset. See if you can use that while we lift the heels. Come back up. Okay. Come back down. I should have had at least 4 coffees this morning. So if you can imagine that someone's picking you up by a piece of string in the crown of your head, and they're just lowering you gently rather than that. So we tend to do that. So lift those heels up, slowly down. Wonderful. Okay, that should be about 10. And again, we're going to walk it out. How are we doing? You can use the live chat if you like. You can type help question if you like, or just email me, give me a ring afterwards. Now, we're going to get our lightweight. So I'm going to be using my tins. These are about half a kilo each, 500 grams. And if you want to work a little bit harder, you might want to invest in some 1-2 kilo weights, maybe more if you're feeling very strong. Now, what we're going to do is just soften the knees. So we've got a nice stable base. When we push up, we're going to try not to let that rib pop up. So we're going to use the shoulders rather than the ribs. You can get a better range of movement just turning that palm in. If you want to work the back of the shoulders a little bit more, if you've got good range, you can turn the palm in. We're going to be doing the generic version. So breathing out, breathing in. We're going to start with alternate arms. Good. So we're going to do 10 of these, then we're going to do 5 together. If you're not sure about doing them together, we can just stay with the alternate arms. Good. Now slide the shoulder blades down the back as you bring those arms back down. Good, as the tins come back down. Now let's see if we can do 5 together. See if you can keep that chin drawn to the back of the neck. Keep that connection between the ribs and the pelvis. You've got it. Breathing out, slowly back down. So that backward down movement, really important. Wiggle your toes a little bit if you need to. Good. And then we'll bring those weights down. Lovely. So we're going to walk it out. So we're going to put our weights down. Just be careful to use that sort of nice deadlift, nice long back if you're putting them on a lower surface. I'm going to put them here, ready for it again. So we're going to go back to those little hovers. So if you did these last time and you have got a chair, you might choose to do the hovers. I'm going to do the little mini squats, 10. Now, when we're doing these little squats, we want to make sure those knees are stable and then we're not throwing that back out as we arch the back. We want that chest lifted and really just lengthen through those legs, squeeze that bottom as you come back up. So mini squats. Good. Heels, pushing into those heels as we come up and straighten those legs. Good. Taking the weight into the heels as we come down. And hold it there. Good. So it's about 10 to 15. Now, if we wanted to make our squats a little bit harder, we can increase the range or we can add some weight. Okay. Now, what are we doing now? Press ups against the wall. So we're aiming for that 10 to 15 again. Are you ready? Now, see if you can keep that strong trunk. Use that corset. Good. So this is an exercise for the chest, shoulders, and the triceps. But what we're also doing is if we can hold that really nice, strong trunk position, so that long spine, and avoid sort of doing this, we'll be working those really deep core muscles that support the spine and the shoulders and the pelvis. So it's a winner if we can hold that lovely posture when we're doing the exercises. We're also increasing our core strength. Brilliant, guys. That should be about it. Come away from the wall, shake those arms out. Great. Okay, we're cooking on gas here. We're going to go back to that calf strength. So again, if we add resistance, we're going to make this exercise more challenging. So if I wanted to hold my tins, if my balance is good enough or some light weights, I can hold them by my side here. Good. So we're going to come up, slowly back down. Now, if you wanted to make this a little bit more challenging, we could do a single leg calf raise. So you could go easy with it. Make sure you've got some support. Okay. So as well as sort of 10 to 15 on both legs, you might choose to do 8 on one and 8 on another and gradually build that range. Good. So I've just done 5 one-legged ones. So this just adds a little bit of challenge, but there's also challenge to that balance. Brilliant. Okay, let's bring it down. So don't do the single if the double is challenging, but when it gets easier, you can add a little bit of a challenge. Now, shoulder raise. So I'm going to get my tins. Here they are. Tin tomatoes. No wonder we couldn't find any for the curry. Now, we're just going to again tuck that bottom under, soften those knees. We're going to do 10 single, and we're going to do 10, 10, 5, double. Now, if you want to go straight into the doubles, that is fine. Just make sure we're not pushing those hips forward. So I'm going to do it this angle. Breathing out. This is great. So this is really helping with shoulder range, but we're looking at shoulder strength as well. Good. And again, you might notice as you reach up that these muscles here are having to work. You might think, well, why is that? And it's because the body naturally wants to do that, and we're using those abdominal muscles to stop that happening. Now let's see if we do 2 together. 5. Good. Breathing out, looking straight ahead. Think about that long neck. Good. Pushing up. Last one. Great stuff, guys. Okay, slide those elbows down. Roll those shoulders up and back. Superb. Okay, put my tins down. I don't need them for a while. We're going to do a little bit of walking on the spot and a little bit of tapping just to give those muscles a chance to recover. Then we're going to move into our next section. So if you want to get a drink, if you need a comfort break, if you need your band because you put it in another room, okay, I'm just going to take some little taps. All right, now if you want to add a little bicep curl, you can. Just a few more seconds. Good. So our next section, we've got a little bit of core work and balance work. We have got some upper back work. And we've got some leg strength again. There's also a rotational movement, great for the golfers and the gardeners, but if you have got any back issues, I'm going to give you an alternative. Might be a bit much. All right, so we're going to do 4, 3, 2, and 1. So, those of you who've been doing this class, you'll remember this. We want a little bit of support. We're basically going to be standing on one leg. So we're going to keep that nice long body. I'm going to come here. Okay, bottom tucked under. We're going to take those knees ever so slightly off lock. That makes it a little bit more challenging. And then we're going to take 1 foot away from the floor. Now we're going to see if we can hold on for about 30 seconds. A bit longer than sometimes. Now you might need to take that leg down and up. You might need to leave one toe on the floor, but we're going to use that corset-like muscle. We've got support with one hand, both hands if you want. Okay? You have got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly bring it down. We're going to do the same on the other side. So we can stand with both hands on the wall. Okay, try not to lean in because we want to really work these core muscles. Now, let's see if we can just take that other foot off the floor. Off you go. Now, if you're feeling okay with 2 hands or 1 hand on the wall, let's see if you can challenge your balance. You might find you can take 1 hand away. You might need to keep the hands out to the side. You might find you can take a finger, the next finger. If you start to wobble though, just put a bit more support back in place because we want to train these muscles to not wobble and be strong. So if you're wobbling, they're not going to quite get there as quickly. Okay, bring it down. Hoping that was okay, guys. So that was our one-legged balance. Now, if you can, if you've got a band, we're going to take the band. We're going to start with an an upper back row. So we're going to take the palms of the hands and push them to 1, face the ceiling. If you haven't got a band, we're going to use the tins the same. Now I'm going to slide those shoulders away from the ears. With the tins, we're going to do this rowing action. Okay, 10 to 15. Squeezing those shoulder blades together. Exactly the same action with the band. Relaxing the shoulders, just hands starting a little bit narrower than shoulder width apart. Drawing the hands to shoulder width. So there's a bit of tension in that band. Squeezing those elbows behind you. Slowly release. Release the tension. So pull, squeeze. Now notice those elbows, they're really close to the body. Good. So we're breathing out, drawing those shoulder blades together and down. Lovely. Notice where you're looking. Make sure those eyes are looking straight ahead or a little bit down to maintain that length in the back of the neck. Squeezing those shoulder blades together. Brilliant. So this is all about those muscles in the back of the shoulders, little bit back of the arm, but more about those muscles around the shoulder blades. And we're just trying to increase their strength so that we can help you stand tall. Good. Combat modern living. I think that's about 10. Let's do one more for luck, shall we? And then release. Ooh. So you'll really feel the tension in the shoulders. It is tempting to do that up here, so try and keep sliding the shoulders away from the ears. So let's walk it out. Now, bit of leg strength again. So we're going to go straight into our backward lunge. So I'd like us to have some support, and I'd like us to be stood really nice and tall before we start. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pick which leg is going to work first. That will be your front leg. We're going to take a little step behind. We're going to take the weight into that front heel, and then we're going to push up. So that's a little mini lunge. Good. We're going to do 10 on each leg. Brilliant. So if I show you here, we're coming back. Lovely. Now, if you find that that's okay, you can take the range a little bit further, but just be careful that you're not wobbling and that knee's not wobbling. We want to maintain that knee alignment. So we're going to do 10 on each leg, nice and controlled. So we're dropping down, squeezing those thigh muscles, squeezing the bottom muscles at the end of the move. Good. So this can be a smaller move. It can be a bigger move. When we've done 10 on that side, we're just going to walk it out. We're going to do 10 on the other side, okay? All right, are we ready? Off we go. So we're just taking. Now this back knee is sort of dropping in line with the hip. Okay, it's not that sort of movement. Keep that chest lifted, nice long back. So we're working the leg muscles. Good. You'll feel the bottom muscles really initiate the move, and then the thigh muscles finish it off. This is such a great exercise. So if you ever need to get down or off the floor, this is the powerful move you'll be using. Okay. So I really like to build it into the classes if we can control it. And that's the last one. Good. All right. It's great going up and down stairs and out of cars, you know. Okay, next. Ooh, this is the rotational one. I'm going to get my tin and I'm just going to hold it like that. So my friends who maybe want to avoid this, what I'm going to get you to do is either some bicep curls with your tins, this movement, or some little mini squats. So we're going to take those feet hip width apart or a little bit wider. If we're doing the rotation, soften those knees, tuck that bottom under. Now what I want us to get used to is that movement we did earlier, but what we're going to do is we're going to be taking these hips and just lifting that heel off the floor to protect the knee. So we're just going to come down towards this foot very gently, and we're just as if we were sort of swinging that golf club, all right? So we're just drawing that tummy button in. It's as if you're pulling this tin from this hip to this shoulder, okay? Nice and easy does it. We can reduce that range if you need to. Brilliant. Good. So the knees are slightly bent. We can make this move a lot smaller if you need to. Good. And we're making sure we're breathing out. Lovely, guys. One more on this side. Bring it down. Now what I'm going to do is do the other side straight away, but we'll only do one set of these, okay? So this time it's going to be this foot and this hip sort of pushing this way. So we'll be lifting that heel away from the floor, and we're going to take that tin just towards this knee, and then good. That's lovely, guys. So keep drawing that tummy button towards the spine. So just tightening that corset, couple of strings, brilliant. I've never worn a corset. I've got no idea how they're done. I'm sure most of you haven't either. But just imagine, okay? Think about a belt. Brilliant. So, nice, relaxed shoulders. Good. So we're just going to do 3 more of these. If you've had enough, just stop, gently walk it out. Brilliant. Okay, so this is great. This is such a marvelous exercise to keep your ability to be able to twist without pulling something. So I'm glad we put that one in, but that was it. So we're going to go back to that balance work. Now, we can either do the static balance or we can change it to something a little bit more movement orientated. So we have done this exercise before. We're going to stand on this leg and we're going to take the heel, little tap forward. It's not a full step, and a little tap behind. So I'm just going to move this way so I stop kicking the chair. So we're going to do 10 of these little taps. Good. So you can hold on for support if you need it. Heel, toe. Good. Draw that tummy button away from the waistband of the trousers. Try and make sure that that knee is in alignment with that big toe or that second toe of the foot. Good. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, let's just walk it out so you can feel that leg having to balance, but these muscles in the core have to do it as well. Okay, and the other side. So we're going to get that balance first. We're going to tap and back. Good. So you've got that wall for support if you need it. Good. Now you can just stand on one leg if you prefer. Brilliant. I think I did about 12 last time. Good. So just a little tap. Now make sure the heel of this supporting leg stays on the floor. Brilliant. 3, 2, 1. And walk it out, guys. Ooh. Superb. Really good. So we're building in a bit of leg strength. The sort of thing you might be doing outside. Little quick step. Okay, so we're going to go straight into the next one after our minute of just loosening up, keeping nice and warm. So what we're going to do is just take some little taps. This time I'm going to get you to just do some little press-ups. So we did some press-ups earlier, so I'm hoping that this movement just makes sure that we get that blood flowing through the arms. Good. Now we're just going to change that to a little bit of a push behind us. Good. And then we're going to tap forwards. Lovely. Just walk it out if these movements are no good for you. All right. Cooking on gas. We're going to do 3, 2, 1. All right. Now we're going to grab those bands again. You can see I've got a yellow one, I've got a red one. And basically the red is a bit stronger, but there's not that much difference in mine. So we're going to now do a little bit of workout for the upper back. So those of you who get issues with the lower back, we want to be really careful of that arch in the back. So you might want to do this without resistance. So without resistance, it's going to look like this, but with the legs together. So we're going to just be squeezing the elbows down towards the back. If you've got your band, just take those feet hip width apart, relax the shoulders. Now we're going to take those hands just a little bit wider apart. I just realised something. I missed something out somewhere, didn't I? Never mind. Okay, what we're going to do is just take those hands there. We're going to reach up. We're going to reach up. See if I can get back a little bit. I'm going to come on the floor. Okay, so you can see now we're going to just pull that band apart. So you're making almost a Y shape, and then we're going to squeeze those elbows down towards the back of the knees. It's not going to get to the back of the knees. And then we're going to push up, release, draw that tummy button in. So we're going to breathe out. Now we're looking straight ahead. Breathing in. So you can feel those back muscles working. This is those big muscles in the upper back, but we're also using those core muscles around the stomach and the lower back to stop that back arching as we reach up. Good, so we're squeezing those elbows down. I'm going to show you from this angle. I'm going to actually stand up. Let's take one more if we can, guys. And then we're going to release, bring it down, roll those shoulders. Just trying to see what I missed out. I know what I've missed out. Okay, just roll those shoulders up and back. Now, we're going to do another little exercise for the upper back, okay? I wasn't going to put them together, but I'm going to do it now. So do you remember this exercise this week? Last week, we have got the arms slightly lower, okay? What we're going to be doing is opening out the chest like this. So without the band, this is what this looks like. Now, what I want you to think about is squeezing those shoulder blades together. Okay, so relax the arms, guys. We are going to open out that chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Watch out for this. So as those arms come behind us, you will want to do that. So look down slightly, draw that chin to the back of the neck, okay? Now, we are making the chest muscles work, okay, in a very odd fashion, but we're making the upper back muscles work. So the chest muscles are strengthening by controlling this movement back, okay, but they're also being flexible as well as we open. So it's a really interesting exercise. Very good for that posture, but we're not going to do too many of them. So, breathing out and in. Good. Last one, release. Woo! Roll those shoulders, my friends. Okay. Is there anything else I missed there? I don't think I did. It was just that one. Maybe it was the backward lunge, actually. It is. Are you ready, chums? Put that band down. We're going to go back to that leg strength. So, let's see what we can do. I knew it was going a bit quicker than I thought. Brilliant. So we're going to do 10 on each leg if you can. We want to really make sure that those feet stay hip width apart. Remember, it can look like this. And we're pushing into the supporting leg standing up. It can look like this. It doesn't have to be the full lunge. Much better that that knee is stable, aligned with the hip and that second toe. Good. And only if you feel comfortable, you can use those arms for balance, you take it to that full thing. Now let's see if we can change legs. Let's do 10 on the other side. Brilliant, guys. So I've got a little injury here, so I'm going to take it really nice and easy. Okay, so it just goes to show you can exercise, but you have to limit your range sometimes. No matter how much you want to go into that full range, you're just going to take it to your point of tension. Good. So of course the full one looks a little bit different. Brilliant. We're going to do 2 more and 1. So this is all about the thighs, the glutes, and there's a bit of balance included there, which is why I get you to use support. Okay, back to those lat pull downs if we can. We're not going to do another set of those, okay? So, most important thing is that start position. So if we start in an awkward position, we're going to really get it wrong. So, hands a little bit wider than those hips, okay? Nice soft knees, nice neutral spine, long spine. We're going to breathe in and we're going to breathe out. Good. So you will still see people taking the band behind their heads, or in the gym you might have seen these machines. I find it's sort of, you tend to poke your head forward as it goes out at the back. So I'd rather us kept that chin drawn to the back of the neck, unless we've got very good flexibility in our shoulders. I know I don't have that flexibility to stop my chin pushing forward, so I'm staying with this one. Now, if you wanted to make it harder, just take the hands a little bit narrower, okay, as you get stronger. Brilliant. Squeeze. Make sure you breathe out. Okay, we're going to do 1 more of those if you can. Great stuff, guys. And release. Okay. Let's just roll those shoulders, shake those arms out. Now, I'm going to do something a little bit different with you, because I'm going to use these bands to help our legs. So, I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to fold the band in half. Now, you don't have to do this at all. We can do the exercises without doing this. So certainly if it's your first session with us or second doing this session, don't do it. But we're going to need a chair to sit down on to get these on safely. But what I'm going to do is just place this band over my thighs. I'm going to put my toes together, my knees together. I'm going to try and make a knot so I can slip the band over my thighs. So we've got a few moments to do that here. I'm going to bring my chair into place because this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to make my knot. Now, this is annoying doing this. So I may not always use the band, but for those of us who have knee issues, maybe hip issues, I really wanted to show a good way of controlling the knees while you're doing your sit to stand or your squats. So I'm going to sit down to put this band on. If I do it standing, I'm going to put one foot, take it over. I'm more likely to fall over. Okay, so I really don't want to fall over at the end of my session. I want this to be a positive experience. So if you can, we're going to put the flat of the band over your thighs. Now, don't worry if it's too loose. If it's too tight, it's going to be challenging. But what we've got is that. So if the band is cutting into you, try and get the flat of that band. Now, if you haven't got the band around your thighs and you think, I'm not doing that, that is absolutely fine. We are going to start with a little bit of support. We're going to stand on one leg and we're going to do those side leg lifts. So we're just going to keep that nice tall body, knees facing forwards, big toe is facing forwards. And we're going to be doing anywhere between 8 and 15 on one leg. Okay, I'm looking at about 8 because then with the same leg, and I'm going to turn around, we're going to see if we can just squeeze that bottom behind us. So we're just adding a bit of resistance to these exercises that we've done before. So there's a bit of resistance there. Good. So today I'm just going to do 8 on each. Okay. And then we're going to change legs. So this time I'm going to take this one out to the side. So I haven't got any resistance. You may find it's easier just to tap and in. Okay, especially if you haven't got anything to hold on to. We're still working these same muscles. Now try and keep that nice, strong trunk. Imagine we tend to do that. Okay, so try and stand nice and upright. That's where the wall is really useful. Now we're going to squeeze behind with that same leg. Squeeze using the bottom. Try not to arch the back. Woohoo! We're doing it! I've been wanting to do this for ages and I've been umming and ahhing as to whether we can do the band thing. Okay? All right, bring it in. Now, you might sort of feel these thighs a little bit more achy than normal. And so what I'd like us to try and do next is we're going to do those squats or those sit to stands. Now, what will happen now is that you will really notice if the knees try and push in or if they push out. If they normally push out a bit, the band is going to stop them. And if they push in, you'll feel the band getting looser. So what we're going to do is really work on that knee alignment in line with the second toe. So we can do squats without the chair, or if you would prefer, we can do sit to stand. Exactly the same principle. We're using the same muscles, but we've got to keep those knees from pushing in. And you might notice your hip muscles or the inner thigh muscles doing a little bit more than normal. But the other thing you might notice is that the knees really feel more comfortable because they're being supported and the right muscles are being used. Good. So we're just going to lightly come down, control it down, power up, keep those knees in alignment. Is that 10? Oh, I hope so. All right then. So we've got this band around us. So we'll just tap those feet a little bit. You may not have the band and don't worry if you haven't. So we're going to do those side leg lifts. Okay. This time I'm just going to do 5 to the side and 5 behind. So I've got my chair in front of me now. And we're just going to keep that nice long back. So I'll show you from this angle. So it's a bit like standing on one leg,
but we're working these muscles here. Now we're going to do 5 behind us. 5, 4, 3, 2. Try not to lean forwards or backwards, just squeezing that bottom muscle. And then we're just going to wiggle those toes. Let's do the same again on the other side. So we're going to go 5, 4. Good. I'm kicking the chair. Brilliant. Okay, we're going to squeeze behind us. Super. Just 5 on each. I don't want to keep you too long. Lovely. And then let's just see if we can do sort of anywhere between 5 and 10 of those sit to stands or those squats, and see what you think with that band. Okay, excellent. So if you like this movement, if you do this in your own time at home, use this band. Use this band. It really helps fire the glutes properly. Great stuff. Help keeps those knees in line. Super. Good. Oh, I said 5 to 10. How many are we meant to be doing? Okay, let's just do a couple more, shall we? Brilliant. Last one. And then just wiggle your feet. Now, again, I'm going to suggest if you've got the bands on, that you sit down, put the knees together, slide the band down. The only problem with having these is that just getting them on off is difficult. You can buy what they call looped resistance bands, but they're always a bit thin and they tend to cut into the thigh. But ideally, we'd have 2 bands, one like this is what I've got downstairs, one like this, and one long one that I can use for other stuff. So if you have got 2, have a think about it. If you haven't, I've got more arriving soon. So put your name down on my list and I'll send some to you. Which, if you haven't got one, please let me know and I will get one to you as soon as they arrive. Okay, everyone, you have done a brilliant job. Ooh, haven't quite finished. What I want us to do is, you can leave that knot in if you like, but we're just going to do a little bit of wrist strength. We're going to walk it out. Okay, while you're walking, we're going to, like 1 potato, 2 potato, we're going to take one fist on top of the other with the band inside, elbows out, we're going to twist. Okay, so we're just going to take a little twist while we're moving our feet. Okay, so I thought while we just start to cool that down a little bit, let's bring a bit of wrist strength in. Okay, that's brilliant. We've got a very dodgy front door lock. And this has really helped with opening it. Okay, now, once we've done a few of these, we are going to just do it slightly differently. So keeping the shoulders relaxed, we're going to just change the position of the top hand. Notice your elbows are now in, and we're going to twist the other way so the elbows come out. That's it. So really twisting. This is all about grip, wrist strength, okay? You'll feel these muscles here working. Brilliant. Okay. So when we've done a couple of those, we can fling the band away. Just watch out for who's next to you. Sed and Val, watch out for each other. Now, we're going to take these feet hip width apart. We're going to take a little roll of those shoulders, and then we're just going to take those side steps like we did earlier. While we're doing that, we're just going to take some elbow circles and just notice those muscles in the upper back. Good. And then we're going to bring it in. We're going to see if we can reach up to the ceiling, drawing this tummy button in. And we're going to do the same on the other side. Okay, so just keep reaching. I'm just going to turn the music down a little bit more. Okay. Or even off. Brilliant. I did that with my arm in the air. Ooh. Now, what we're going to do next is just go back to those little steps to the side, or just walk on the spot, whatever feels good for you. And we're going to sort of, first of all, think about starting. I'm going to go top down in a way, and then I'm going to come back up, But I'd like to just see if we can take one hand onto the shoulder, the opposite shoulder, and hug this arm across the body. So I do seem to be slightly left of center today. So I'm hoping I told you the muscles that we were working and why they were useful. I'm not convinced I did with all of them. I just kept going on about how good the exercise was. So we've pretty much used everything. Last week we did a bit of tricep stuff, which I didn't do this week, but I'll see if I can squeeze it in next week. I just wanted to make sure we did that leg work with the bands. And then we're just going to take the shoulders up, relax them down. Let's stretch out those calf muscles. So we're just going to move the feet and then take that one leg behind you, pressing the heel of the back foot to the floor. So it's that pressing down of the heel where we get the stretch in the calf muscle. And if that foot is shaped awkwardly, you won't get that stretch. So imagine you're on a clock face and that the toe is at 12 and the heel is at 6. Then we're going to lift that, walk it out, and we're going to do the same on the other side. So just pressing that heel to the floor. Good. Chest is lifted. Nice, relaxed shoulders. Good stuff. And then we're going to lift that foot. Bring it in. So we're just going to walk it out. Walk it out. And then we're going to just see if we can walk this hand over that shoulder. So this is stretching these muscles here, the tricep muscles and the shoulders. So we're going to breathe out as we do that. And then we're going to breathe in. We're just going to reach up towards the ceiling. Now just draw that tummy button in. Be careful not to overdo this move, all right? Just gently stretch those muscles in the side of the trunk. Little bit of hip and bring it down. And then we'll just walk it out and we'll do the same on the other side. So we're starting walking that hand, same shoulder, stretching out the tricep. So what I like to do is just place my hand on the area we're stretching and just gently push that elbow towards the ceiling without pushing it into pain. And then we're just going to breathe in, draw that tummy button in again, and just gently lift the rib cage. Okay, it doesn't have to be a big movement, like so many movements, just enough that you feel you're in the right position. Okay, so now we're going to just take those arms out. I'm going to take those arms out. I'm just going to flex those hands a little bit here. So relax the shoulders away from the ears. We're going to bring it in and we're going to bring those hands down. Now, Sam is here. Hello, Sam. We're going to take those hands to the base of the spine. Just place the fingers downward. We're going to squeeze. Oh, he's been out, I expect. Now put mud everywhere and draw the shoulder blades together. Keep that chin drawn to the back of the neck. And then we're just going to shake it out. Just going to shake it out. All right, big boy? Okay. Now, just shake it out. Let's think about the hamstrings. So we're going to take that small step forwards, take the weight onto that supporting leg. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like here. So this is the leg that we're stretching out. We're going to breathe out, keep the back as long as you can. So it's not a curve in the back type of exercise. And we're just feeling that stretch, breathing out, breathing in. Okay, and we want to hold this for about 15 seconds, but if you can't, we can come out of it and back in a couple of times. So then we'll just move the feet again. Let's do the same on the other side. So just lifting that chest towards the straight leg. So, and again, if you have an injury, it's about just not pushing where you think you should be. It's about just finding that point that works for you at this moment, and then you might find over time you can gradually increase that range. Lovely. Okay. So we're going to come just to the neck and shoulders for a moment. So standing nice and tall, we're going to look towards this shoulder. And again, not forcing it, relax the shoulders, then take this hand just to the top of the head, the crown of the head, and gently draw this head so you're looking towards the hip. And we're going to breathe out. And it's a very gentle movement, this one. We're going to release gently and slowly. Take a little roll of those shoulders. And then we're going to Just turn that head, look towards that shoulder. Take this hand, gently, gently draw this head so that we're looking towards the hip. And we're going to breathe out. And we're going to breathe in. Let's just shake it out. Let's just shake it out. Good. Okay, one more and then you're done. Okay, kept you too long again. So we're just going to stand on one leg. We're going to bend at the knee and we're going to see if you are comfortable this, if you can hold onto the back of the trouser leg or the trainer. We are stretching out those quadricep muscles. So we want a nice long body, knee pointing down towards the floor, and we're going to release. Good stuff. So we'll do the same on the other side. So I'll show you this view. We're just going to bring that knee up in front. Good. And as you bring that knee back down, I've got my foot against the wall. Okay, so nice long body. I've got the wall for support. Good. And we're just pushing the hip of that bent knee forwards as we're stretching, trying not to stick that bottom out. Okay, keep that bottom tucked under. And then we're just going to walk it out. Stand nice and tall. Soften those knees. Thank you very much, everybody. What a lovely session. Although I wish I'd been able to say the right words at the right time. Anyway, we're going to finish with that breath in. And then we're going to take that slow breath out. So we're going to just gently push that breath out through the mouth. And we're going to try and take the breath out a bit slower than the breath in. So we're going to push that breath out for 3, 2, 1. And again, last one. And then we'll just give those fingers a little wiggle. Give those toes a little shake. And that is our 13th of December functional strength session. My apologies for sending the link out so late. I forgot I hadn't done it. If you set up a YouTube link too early, it doesn't work. I've discovered that's what some of the problems were. So what I'll be doing for next week, and don't worry, you don't have to join me because I believe it's Christmas Eve, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do another class on YouTube. So I'll send the link out on Monday. So look for that. And then you've got a couple of classes that you can use over Christmas when the classes aren't taking place. So well done. I'm signing out. And don't worry if you can't make next week. I fully expect no one to, but I'll be here. Take care. Bye-bye.